What's up, fam? We should be good to go here. Welcome in, welcome in. What's up, family? How we doing? Welcome in, boys. Welcome in. Hope everyone is well. I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick announcement real quick, set everything up, and we'll go ahead and get started very shortly. We had a small issue with the stream in the beginning, but I got it locked in per usual. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. I look forward to another amazing, great week in the markets and catching catching many great opportunities. So let's make some magic happen. And I'm going to go ahead and get started very shortly. Just go ahead and stick around and we'll get into it. In the meantime, oh, let me get this set up. Let me know if you're here in the chat. Show some love. Say what's up. Okay, perfect. Everything is looking good, sounding good. If there are any audio or video issues, please feel free to let me know down in the chat or whatever the case may be. But it looks like everything is locked in and good to go here. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and get straight on into it. So, Sunday, obviously, day before market opens. Let's go ahead and start with the news, kind of see what we have going into this week in terms of news, data, see what, the big days are. and etc. So let me go ahead and set up news for us so we can get a better idea on obviously what we have this week, what we should focus going on to this week, and the specific days that we should focus on or even avoid in terms of taking our trade. So let me go ahead, mark this only as USD. Boom. Okay, perfect. So going into tomorrow, well, first of all, I do see a good amount of red and orange folders, which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. But going into tomorrow, obviously, Monday, we have no pre market or open market news. So Monday should be a pretty chill day going into tomorrow, obviously, especially due to the fact that we have no sort of news, meaning that there's no crazy volatility that's likely to just hit the markets. So, like I said, I am expecting a chill Monday going into tomorrow morning. Obviously, be sure to be ready and prepared tomorrow morning in the Discord so we can do some more pre market analysis and, of course, get ready for some trading. Going into Tuesday, we actually do have PMI, but this is going to be 15 minutes after market open. So this is going to be at 6:45 Pacific time. Or it's going to be um yeah, so 6:45 a.m. Pacific time, and then we also have 7 a.m. Pacific time as well, but that's actually going to be an orange folder. Still going to be some pretty significant news and still obviously likely to present some volatility within the markets at that specific time. So obviously that 6:45 and 7 a.m. mark is going to be pretty volatile going into Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning should be pretty strong, especially going into open. We might see a bit of consolidation Tuesday morning leading up to those events. So after about 6:45, 7 a.m. Pacific time, that's when the volatility and price action should really start to pick up. But that's what I'm expecting going on into Tuesday. We obviously have PMI being our red folders at 6:45 Pacific time, and then right after that, shortly at 7 a.m. Pacific time, we have new home sales, and that's obviously going to be a red folder, or sorry, orange folder. Our red folders are going to be the most volatile, orange obviously going to be the middle volatile one, and then we have our yellow folders as well, but typically for the yellow folders I really just don't focus on those. It's just not as it doesn't make as much of a impact to the market than the orange or red folders would. So I just honestly typically stay away from stuff like that. So then going into Wednesday, Wednesday looks pretty chill. It looks like we just have some pre-market news, which is going to be pretty chill. And that's going to be orange folder as well. So Wednesday looks like going into Wednesday morning, we obviously just have some pre-market news. So we should be expecting some pre-market volatility. But going on into market open for Wednesday, we have no data and things should look pretty strong and pretty chill going into market open. Thursday and Friday, we do have a couple red folders, especially, yeah, it looks pretty even, but Thursday, pre-market red folders, and then we also have a 7 a.m. Pacific time or 10 a.m. Eastern time red folder as well going on into market open. So we have some pre-market volatility hitting Thursday morning, and we also have some open market data hitting Thursday morning as well, being around the 10 a.m. Pacific time, or sorry, 10 a.m. Eastern or 7 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry, I'm seeing all these times. I'm getting all confused here. But um, going on into Friday, looks like we do have some pre-market data as well. So that's likely to obviously provide some pre-market volatility for us as well. And then going on into market open, we actually do have a red folder data set that's going to be at 7 a.m. Pacific time or 10 a.m. Eastern. This is going to be consumer sentiment. This is going to be a red folder. So this is also going to be pretty volatile and bring a pretty volatile impact to the markets, obviously, when that specific data set comes out. That's why I am, emphasizing on the specific times that these data sets are coming out, because when they do, that's when the market is likely to provide some type of extended amount of volatility, or that's when price action is likely to step up, obviously, due to the fact that sometimes those buyers and sellers will be less passive until that specific data or news does come out. So 100% keep that in mind. But really going into this week, we really just have we don't have anything too crazy, but we definitely do have things that we should be focusing on. No types of FOMC or Jerome Powell or any of that this week, but obviously PMI, consumer sentiment, strong red and orange folders like that are definitely going to hit this week, and we definitely want to be aware of those, obviously, going into this week, so we don't either get trapped in our trades, or we are able to understand the market as best as possible, so that it obviously doesn't reverse on us or whatever the case may be. But going on into Monday morning, that should honestly probably be the most chill day for us, especially considering we don't have any type of data whatsoever. Going on into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we pretty much have pre-market data or open market data or both every single day other than Monday. So definitely want to be aware of that. I'm thinking Thursday or looks like Friday and Tuesday should be the strongest days in terms of data, in terms of data sets, and also in terms of volatility and price action. So Tuesday and Friday, those days seem to be the most craziest, just from what I'm seeing right here from the data sets being presented here. So that's going to wrap it up on the news slash data portion of that. If you guys have any type of questions, feel free to ask me so I can obviously lock you guys in on that and make sure you understand it as best as possible. What I am going to do is I'm going to switch over onto the charts, kind of review some things, review some levels. One of the biggest things that stood out to me or stood out to us, or even the whole market, is the fact that SPY broke below the huge key level of 500, and it's trading and holding below that level, showing huge, obviously, bearishness and extreme amounts of selling pressure being inputted within this market. So we'll go ahead and go over a bunch of different levels, do some analysis going into tomorrow so we can be more prepared on the charts tomorrow morning for market open. And I'll kind of go over some things and then we'll go ahead and go from there. But like I mentioned, SPY obviously broke below that 500 key level. It was a level that I've been mentioning multiple times in our pre-market analysis. But what I want to do first, I'm going to switch over here to the 5-minute time frame so I can get a bit of a larger view on price action here. Just going to zoom out. I'm going to make my charts pretty much empty. I'm going to remove everything so we can have a fresh, clean chart going into this week. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw out my key levels slash my supply and demand zones. Those are really going to be the key things that I'm looking for and the key things that I want to utilize, especially when it comes to taking my trade in the markets or when market is open. So I already see a strong supply being presented or created right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark it out. I'll mark my zones out, and then as I'm marking them out, you guys can screenshot, you guys can mark them out as well, or feel free to do whatever you would like. I'm going to label the zones as well when I'm done, so you guys can get a better idea of where they exactly are. So if I'm going too fast, don't worry, because I will lock you back in on everything else. Seeing something else right here. perfect. I like that. Like, it looks good. I'm going to start on SPY and then we'll switch over to Tesla and some other stocks. When you have the chance, can you explain key levels and how to identify them? Are they the same as buy and sell zones? I got you. I will go over that very shortly. I believe there should. Okay, cool. Strong support created here as well as demand. This demand zone should really be confirmed, or should really tell us if it's confirmed going on into tomorrow morning. Obviously, going on into tomorrow morning, we'll be able to do a lot more accurate pre-market analysis due to the fact that we'll actually be able to see where pre-market price action is trading. And we want to make sure that we are drawing our zones closest to where price is trading, because say we have levels or zones and they're like a couple dollars away from where price is trading. It's just, it's going to make our setups and it's going to make our trading a lot slower, and we just don't want to do that. So that's why you always want to make sure that you are drawing your levels out or drawing your zones out closest to where price is currently trading. I know Derek asked what key levels are or how to identify them. Key levels are pretty much areas, I like to call them high potential reversal areas. These are pretty much what key levels are. And these high potential reversal areas are obviously areas that we want to utilize on the charts to either A, enter, or B, exit. Because the market's constantly moving. And the market is constantly moving due to buyers and sellers obviously putting those orders slash money in the markets. But we want to trade where those buyers and sellers are going to be strongest. We want to trade where the buyers and sellers are going to be putting the most money into the markets. And where we can spot that is going to be our key levels. Our key levels are pretty much just areas of where we're expecting price to have a larger move than usual or a reversal at a certain area due to the fact from the excessive buying pressure or selling pressure that is then being inputted, if that makes sense. So obviously we have our demand zones. Demand zones can be considered your key level due to the fact that your demand zones are discounted areas on the charts that those buyers want to utilize. Discounted areas on the charts, or they're just getting in at the best, lowest price possible. So that would be considered a key level due to the fact that that is an area where we have the idea that A, those buyers are going to either heavily step in, or B, those sellers are going to heavily step in. And like I mentioned earlier, we want to be trading where the buying pressure or selling pressure is going to be heaviest. And buying pressure and selling pressure is usually going to be heaviest at our key levels. And key levels aren't just going to be your supply and demand zones. Your key levels can be your support areas, your resistance areas, fair value gaps, order blocks. Your key levels are pretty much just going to be areas on the charts that are likely to present price with a stronger move than usual or with a stronger reversal than usual. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, due to the fact from the excessive buying pressure or selling pressure stepped in. I hope I was able to help you out with that. So here would be a demand level or even a support level here. Support level, obviously we have a base or a floor created in price, and this base slash this low was extremely respected. It was extremely respected by those buyers, right? And sellers weren't strong enough ideally to push price below. So this is where we had that strong reversal or that strong amount of buying pressure then being inputted This isn't the best example, obviously, because market just closed right here. But you really just, the key levels are really just areas of where you're going to have the idea that A, those buyers are going to either heavily step in, or B, those sellers are going to heavily step in. I say idea because we can't always confirm, or we can't always have that 100% answer that yes, this is where they're going to step in. You know what I mean? But yes, that's where we have our confirmations. That's where we have our technical analysis. That's why we, spot things in the market so we can build up multiple different confirmations or multiple different ideas. And the more ideas we have, the more confirmations we have. If we put that all together, that's just going to make us more confident and more consistent with our trades. Nice, 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 nice. I'm seeing some solid, beautiful things. Okay, we have a bunch of fair value. We have a bunch of zones. Bunch of zones. I'm looking forward to this week. Also, if you guys aren't in the Tukhi Trading Discord, make sure that you guys go ahead and join up, because every single morning, I'm doing pre-market analysis, live trading, hosting a bunch of different trading events, posting a bunch of different trading material / education for you guys. So don't sleep, because I know many of you guys do sometimes, and go ahead and join the winning team. I'm going to switch over to the 1 minute time frame so I can see if I can get any sort of matches within the zones that I've created. You can see the 5 minute zone that we created here, this demand zone area / support area, looks very good on the 1 minute. In my opinion, it looks better on the 1 minute than it did on the 5 minute. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to match my zones out. Boom. Boom, perfect. Change the color. Okay, cool, we got that match. And then we also have a fair value gap match. So keep in mind, guys, if you guys are confused, like what I'm doing these matches for, this is so I can get more of a confirmation of those sellers or buyers actually stepping in. Or this is where I can get more of a stronger confirmation of actually spotting where the high areas of supply are or high areas of demand are. Because if you can get the matches inside of the zones, that's just providing you more of a confirmation that yes, that is where those excessive amount of sellers are, and yes, that is where those excessive amount of buyers are. And those are the areas we want to utilize, because if strong amounts of buyers are going to be stepping in at one position, and we know that large amounts of orders are going to be inputted in one price area, we want to utilize that price area so we can trade with that momentum and trade with that buying pressure, so we can obviously make sure that we're catching the best trade, catching a high momentum trade, and obviously trading with pretty much the market movers, which is what we always want to do. I have that. I want to see if I can match this supply zone. Yes, this looks perfect. I'm liking how things are looking. I'm looking forward to this week. Caught back-to-back 400% trades last week. Turned $35 into about $200 last week on some SPY puts. So I look forward to doing even more crazier things this week. So get ready, guys. It's going to be crazy for sure. Damn, this looks perfect as well. I'm liking how the zones are looking. Looks like we have a fair value gap right here. Also a resistance area as well, but I'll go ahead and I'll mark that out, but that's likely to get invalidated or probably retested going on into pre-market. But we will go ahead and see. How can I properly use fair value gap? It happened twice this week where price broke my fair value gap and kept going. Fair value gap is another word for imbalance. Yeah, so fair value gap, yes, exactly. It's pretty much another word for imbalance, but fair value gaps are created when orders in the market. So, sorry, I'll rephrase this. Fair value gaps are created when price is moving too fast or has moved too fast to the point where orders being put into the market weren't being able to get filled. And when there are unfilled orders in the market or unfilled orders left on a certain area on the charts, that's where fair value gaps are created. Now, pretty much the market movers, in order for them to move price to a certain area or move price to where they want it to, they need to make sure that all the unfilled orders on the charts or all the unfilled orders closest to where they're trading currently, they need to be filled. Those unfilled orders need to be filled before they move price to where they want to move it to next. So that's typically why we see retracements into our fair value gaps. And then when we do see retracements into our fair value gaps and we see moves outside of our fair value gaps or reversals, that's when those unfilled orders start to be filled, right? But when there aren't when there isn't enough, or when there aren't enough unfilled orders that can be filled, that's what causes the fair value gaps to be invalidated, because there needs to be enough unfilled orders that can be filled, enough money that can be inputted into the market to then present some type of volume or some type of move off of that fair value gap. So simply you can see right here that a fair value gap was created on this strong move, this strong push down. Now on this strong move, this strong push down, price moved too fast to the downside to the point where some selling orders were unfilled left in this area. Now, like I mentioned, in order for market movers to move price to where they want to move it to next, they need to make sure that all of their unfilled orders, especially the unfilled orders that are closest to where they're trading, need to be filled. So, what price did? It retraced back into that fair value gap. The fair value gap is exactly right here. Boom, this blue zone is our fair value gap. Now you can see it tapped into our fair value gap. And as soon as it tapped into that fair value gap, the excessive buying pressure that we had leading up to this fair value gap then started to die down because those sellers started to step in. But why did those sellers start to step in? Because in this area, those unfilled orders left in this price area started to get filled. And now that they're getting filled, now that orders getting filled is presenting money being inputted within the market, that's obviously what causes price to move. And especially what causes price to move down, especially because there's sell orders. So then we see a small push down, a small push down, pretty much same thing, small push down, small push down. This isn't the best example because market closed very shortly after, but it is a working example that I can show you guys. So I hope you were able to understand that. I have like 2 or 3 or even 4 different videos on fair value gaps on the YouTube channel. So if you guys are confused on fair value gaps, on what they are, on how you can use them, on how you can trade with them, feel free to check out the YouTube channel because I have various different videos posted about them. And I use them pretty much every single day. But that's going to be that. Let me go ahead and mark out my supply zone here, and then I'll go ahead and I'll wrap this stream up shortly, but I'm liking the zones that we have. Like I mentioned, I will be in Discord tomorrow morning doing some updated analysis to make sure that our levels are closest to where price is actually currently trading. But from everything that we have drawn out currently, it's looking pretty solid. Perfect. And then looks like this got invalidated actually. Or not invalidated, but we had got too many retracements into it to the point where there wouldn't be enough unfilled orders to get filled. This is more of a resistance area, if anything. You guys can see right here. So I'll mark that out. But that fair value gap obviously already got tested into. Fair value gaps typically only work best on the first or second retest. Keep that in mind. So here's another fair value gap right here. We actually got a 5-minute/1 minute fair value gap match. So I'm going to mark this out as 496.10 fair value gap. Beautiful. We have that. And then we also have this buying area down here, or this demand area. Demand areas, obviously areas being discounted areas on the charts, or areas where buyers just simply want to utilize. So let me come here, boom. I'll go ahead and put that right there. Let me reword it. Demand/buying area. I'll label it high buying area because we can see this has been respected multiple times. And this zone is a strong buying zone. Perfect. I'll also label this out as another fair value gap that we have drawn out. We haven't gotten a retest into it as well. So I'll label this as our 497.40 fair value gap. 5-minute mixed with a 1-minute fair value gap match as well. So that is looking pretty strong. So I'm liking the way it looks. Supply zone looks beautiful as well. Demand zone. I honestly like the supply zone more than the demand zone. I'm not saying that, you know, one is better than the other, but the reason that I'm more opposed to the supply zone is due to the fact that you can see the supply got created right here due to the strong push down, strong amount of selling pressure. Once we got that retracement, you can see that supply zone absolutely went to town. Sellers went to town and pushed price down significantly to the downside. Had no problem pushing price to the downside off of the supply zone. So obviously that push, this rejection, and this respect of this supply zone obviously gives us the confirmation that this area is a confirmed area. So obviously we have that marked out, and then everything else. We do have a retracement for the demand zone as well, but like I mentioned earlier, price closed very shortly after this demand zone had that bounce and had that initial move. But we still had that initial move, and we still had that bounce / respected this demand zone / lows extremely well. We have liquidity resting right here, so I'm going to mark that out as well. But anyways, you can still see we had that bounce. We respected this demand zone very well and didn't break outside of it. And initially those buyers stepped in and pushed price up from this demand zone / buying area. Post market did its thing, and obviously, like I did mention earlier as well, pre-market will give us more of that updated analysis to really make sure that we're drawing our zones out closest, or our levels out closest to where price is currently trading right now. We went over earlier as well, we don't have any type of crazy pre-market news, or even open market news, at least going into tomorrow. So realistically, we shouldn't see any type of, crazy pre-market push going into tomorrow. Obviously, price will be trading a bit different from where we're currently trading right now, but it shouldn't be any type of crazy push to the up or to the downside. But that is going to be that. This is going to be my analysis and my favorable zones / levels on the S&P going on into tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys found value. Let me know if you guys have any questions to wrap up this stream in the meantime. But Other than that, if you guys aren't in the Tukhi Trading Discord, make sure you guys join. I'm live and posting every single day, every single morning, posting different types of trading events, whatever the case may be. But other than that, fam, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Much love. I will see you guys literally first thing tomorrow morning, and let's have an amazing trading week. Have a good night, guys.